the online streaming platform.
Yeah, Brooks Rizzo.
Yeah.
He's cool. Like, but anyway, what's up, everybody? We're back with another episode of Bumps and Bruises podcast. As always, I am Marcos, aka at the Sunset Kid. Joined to us on my upper left is Derek, Lock Stallion, and to my upper right or whatever, I don't know this direction, is Drizzen 13, aka Shane. How's everybody doing? Guys, we've been recording for a while and we almost forgot to do the intro. So now this is the actual official part of the show. So we have a lot to get to. I assume everybody's okay. Everybody had a good week. So let's start off talking about SmackDown last week, guys. So
this isn't the official Josh Segarra podcast?
No. That's a secret private pod that I'm starting myself.
Okay.
And then it's just going to be Josh Segarra presents Bumps and Bruises wrestling pod.
Now we gotta somehow work everything and get him to come on.
I don't know. I might have to do something there. We might have to have a cardboard cutout where he's just standing to the behind me, just like But
it's got to be from Electric Company. It can't be from anything.
Yeah, I'm just gonna get a fat head made with a custom picture of him going from Electric Company, and hopefully we just keep tagging him in every single post. Like, it has nothing to do with anything. Just like, oh man, had a good day at work. Hashtag Josh Segarra. And then tag him, and then hopefully reply like, bro, please stop.
Why am I tagged? Why do you three fellas keep tagging me in everything?
It's like, what have you like if me and the missus have a kid, like, why am I tagged in the birth of your child? What is going on here?
Went to the doctor, it's a kidney stone. Josh Segarra.
Hashtag like with Josh Segarra.
He was my emotional support.
I keep a picture in my wallet. Who keeps a picture though?
Just Photoshop a picture of him with us from Rumble when the three of us were together. Just put him in the middle.
Like, it was crazy seeing him.
That's hilarious.
So Friday Night SmackDown. I believe it opened up with Orton just running down John Cena again, right? And the most iconic line was he called him a square face Lego. Like he should go back and have a square face Lego kid. That's insane.
He's big on the children thing right now.
Yeah, and I think it's funny as hell because number one, I think Randy's in a place that he doesn't care about titles. I think this is just to end cap their career-long feud. And it sucks. It sucks because Randy Orton is going to be the last of the Mohicans. I don't know who else that is his contemporary that's around. I don't think anybody from that OVW class is any more active wrestler. He outlasted everybody, including all maybe or Blue Tista or Bootista, whatever you want to call him, I don't know. There's nobody left that's active. He already endcapped his Edge feud, and that was more of a partnership. Edge been wrestling longer than him.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy because I believe he was part of the 2002 OVW class, which included John Cena. 2001 included John Cena, Batista. It was a couple other.
Don't say that name. Don't say it. Thank you. No, we're good. You didn't say it. It's fine.
Batista?
Nah, Bautista's good. He's good. That's good people's.
You
didn't say the name.
What
Benjamin
name?
Shelton?
Huh?
Benjamin Shelton?
The one person we don't talk about on this podcast. Okay, I sent y'all the memo. Y'all the memo. Y'all didn't get it.
You talking about Brock Lesnar?
It's okay. I'll cut it out.
Wait a minute. Do you think I don't think they ever feuded. I don't think they ever like
Randy and Brock. Nah.
They've had to wrestle each other, but I don't think they ever had like the feud. Like everybody feuded with John Cena, but John Cena's more storied feud was always with Randy.
And Randy Brock had the feud because that's when Brock busted him open with the elbows, which wasn't supposed to happen.
Yeah, but those were like one-offs. I don't think they had a proper feud. I think that was Rumble where Jericho kayfabed himself and tried to swing on Brock backstage.
And apparently held his own.
Yeah, but it's like held his own or Brock was like, you know what I mean? It's like, you know, when your little nephew rushes you and he's really angry and you're like, I don't want to kill him. He's still you know, I don't know. I just don't see, like, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Jericho is like Michael Jai White and just like a beast.
People say that Jericho can hold his own. Obviously, he's up there, you know, beyond me in age at this point, which is saying something. Sorry. But yeah, apparently he can still hold his own, and you know.
But I don't know. I don't
man
think
of 1,001 holds.
I don't think we'll ever 1,004. Or was it 1,001? Because I think the whole gimmick was he knew 4 more than him or something.
No, initially it was 1, and he kept adding 1 more until it got to 4.
So I don't know if we're gonna, like, this is legit an end of an era. I don't think anybody else is like linked with each other because the classes are so divided after that.
Well, I mean, like, you're talking 20, 25 years at this point.
But I'm also thinking about, like, is there another crew that came in together that became individual successes that, unless you're talking about NXT Black and Gold, there's nothing in between that I can remember.
I was going to say that's probably the closest that we have.
Like that, it would be the women's division.
Yeah, well, all the Charlotte, 4 horsemen are all scattered. There's only 2 of them left.
There's 3.
Or there's 3. Yeah. Wait. So
Bailey,
yeah,
Sasha, Charlotte, and Lynch.
Yeah, but Sasha is gone now. Mercedes Moné, and I don't think she'll ever come back to the WWE because they're grossly.
All roads lead back.
I think Tony Khan is sweet on her in terms of her entire presentation, her act, and everything. And I think her being paid like a main eventer, like male counterpart, like, I don't think she needs to come back unless she wants to end cap her career, which honestly, I think the way the WWE wrestles, I don't know if the other 3 horsewomen are going to be around when she decides to come back.
Yeah, that's
where, like, Becky, I think Becky's looking towards the future of her kid or kids. I believe it's just 1. And if you think about it, Bayley is probably at a point where she wants to focus on her personal life too. And then we got Charlotte, who, with that devastating knee injury, I don't think she got 10 years in her. You know what I mean? And like, I believe Mercedes Moné's contract was for 5 years. And I'm almost certain she's going to re-sign like an extension as soon as they offer it, because it's going to come with more bread. So I don't know, man. If they were younger, yeah. Like AEW is now signing 5-year deals. I don't think we're gonna see Moxley either. Like, you know, like, I think Moxley got 1 more re-sign in him, and that's gonna probably take him to the end. Like, I don't know.
Moxley,
I don't even think the Elite is coming to WWE. Do you see the Elite coming to the WWE?
Not at this point. I think they are burning the bridge that's in front of them by kind of.
I don't even think it's a burning thing. I think it's like they're more thinking about life after wrestling. I know Kenny, I believe, is like Kenny. They're building his run right now as Kenny, just giving it one last, you know, go. I'm not saying he's going to retire soon, but I'm saying like he knows he has more years behind him than he does ahead of him. It's kind of like with the WWE guys right now. Like, I think Randy maybe got 1 more extension in him and then off to the sunset. I mean,
the fact that we're still seeing these guys operate at the level that they are is just a testament to what the sport has become versus what we saw, 20, 30 years ago and what those guys went through. Obviously, the technological advancements and medical advancements have made a huge difference, but just in how they treat their bodies and how there isn't the hard living nearly as bad as it was back then has given them a lot of ability to kind of stick around.
And I see the current main eventers, they probably have 5 years in them. I don't see Cody wrestling more than 5 more years. I don't see Roman wrestling more than 5 more years. I think the window of this era, that's why they're so aggressively pushing younger people now. Like,
yeah, I can see that.
And the escalator in the women's division is going a lot quicker than the men's. You know, because you got a lot more just biologically and genetically. Because it's like, if you look at how many active roster women are that, and I guess is no knock on them. I guess is like, it's just them prioritizing their career. A lot of these women are like, yeah, I don't want kids, or they're not actively trying to have kids. Because if you think about it, like, a lot of the active women don't. Like, there's your exceptions. Like, you have Jade, who had her kid before she even knew what a wrestling ring was, you know, and then, like, I don't even know. I don't think Naomi wants kids. I'm not going to speculate, but it's like, I would think the younger the superstars are, the more you're going to have your maternity leaves, or, like, you know what I mean? Like, I think Carmella was the first one that was like, I'm good. Like, I had my kid and I'm having a second one. I don't think I want to do this anymore.
You don't think she wanted to come back?
Like, I mean, really? I know biologically she couldn't. It was like something with her foot or something. Like, there was something that happened
during the pregnancy. Yeah.
That didn't allow her, that kind of like, I know WWE did it unceremoniously, but it was kind of like, it was a clearing thing. And, you know, I don't want to misspeak, but she had an issue with, I think, when her foot, that kind of was like, you know, it was a medical clearance on that. And I guess they had no plans for her to be like a backstage personality or something like that. Which, you know, WWE, I think they do real good by telling people that gotten hurt doing the job for them, that they keep backstage.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's far and few in between that where you get somebody that got hurt outside and then they're like, oh, come back, we'll give you an office job. Like, you know, the New Day. That's another one. I know it's a sore subject. I think they got one more re-signing in them altogether. Like, you know what I mean? Like, Kofi's up there in age. I'm 43. I'm pretty sure he's like my age or so, or might be younger. But that's like 100 in wrestling years.
Yeah.
Like, you know, he's Tom Brady. He can go till 45. Yeah, right.
I mean, maybe now, but 3 years ago they were on the road 300 days. Was it like 250 days out of the year? Woo!
Yeah.
And dropping, and it's not like they're like, oh, we're working. It's like, no, you're physically jumping. Like, what was it? I was watching some match. Oh, I was watching Jey Uso's match from Monday Night Raw. And when he did the spot where he went to do the splash, and then, you know, he knew that that Seth was gonna get up, so he landed on his feet. My old man knees just went, ah. Like, think about that. You do that 3 or 4 times a week, dog. That flat-footed jump off, and I don't care. You know, you can say wrestling's predetermined, whatever, but your body still feels that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I can't even jump off of like 4 steps, like, to the ground, like flat-footed, without being like, ah. Granted, I'm not in shape like them, but it's like, dog. Like, you know, even the man that nobody really likes right now, Hulk Hogan, is probably put together by duct tape. He spent,
oh my God,
like 300 dates dropping on his tailbone, all 275 pounds of him. What is he, 6'6" or something like that? He's like tall as hell, and then doing that daily on your tailbone.
That's a great
But to kind of jump back, one thing before we get too far into SmackDown, because I started thinking about it and I pulled it up, and that 2002 OVW roster 10 years later was the 2012 FCW roster, which arguably is better, because that 2012 had Roman, Seth, Moxley. The list is incredible. Eric Rowan, Luke Harper, Cassius Ohno and he was already an indie darling at that point. Jason
That's
Jordan.
another class that's been decimated.
Well, you had Rusev and Aiden English. You had Big E, Bo Dallas, Xavier Woods.
Okay, let's go through that class and talk about who's inactive.
So Aiden English, we'll do it alphabetically. Aiden English, arguably you could say active as an announcer for TNA, but
he's a fill-in wrestler that they use when somebody doesn't misses a date or something.
And then Rusev,
he's not inactive.
He was for the longest. I don't think if he didn't go to AEW, he would probably, if he would have wrestled in WWE those years, I don't think he would be as in greatest shape and non-injured as he is now.
Then Cesaro / Claudio. So
there's a 2 European freaks of nature that he just spoke about.
Then we're going to get to another freak of nature that is sadly inactive, Big E.
Yeah, think about that. And that was an unfortunate mistake that led to him being inactive.
Bo Dallas and Bray Wyatt were both in that class.
Unfortunately, that's life. What happened there with those two? Bo Dallas is inactive for some reason. I think I don't know. I think that's why the push stalled on the Wyatt 6, because he wanted to take some extended personal time.
Yeah.
So that's not our business.
But I don't know. I'd heard that there was an injury, but I don't know the extent. What's going on there?
Props for him to coming back. He came back probably in the toughest time of his personal life ever. Number one, his relationship with Liv stopped, and he was still mourning the loss of his brother. Yeah, they've been together for like 6 years, dog. Bo Dallas and Liv.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, that's crazy. I ain't.
Bro, like people act like Liv Morgan, the character, is completely different than Liv Morgan, the person. Liv Morgan dated what's it called, Big Cass, and then they broke up because life with Big Cass was really rough during that time when he still had his addictions, and then she dated Bo Dallas for many, many years, and I believe they broke up like early last year.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and like that's it. It's not like the way they make it seem. Like she's completely different from their TV character portrays her. Like
I know that.
But then sure. Byron Saxton,
another person that inactive. Like I heard his injury was like way in NXT. That's why they shifted him to an announcer.
Then you had Cameron, one of the original Funkadactyls.
Oh, shout out to her.
Gone. Juice Robinson.
He's one injury back. I don't think he's wrestling full time. He's had back major injuries. Back and
the
neck.
Style of wrestling that man does is
back and neck, dog. Like first it was the neck when he just came back from New Japan, and then it was his back when he came back and got hurt again. With that hard cock, Juice Robinson.
And then
that's literally his name.
Both of the members of Ascension.
Yep. They both were retired injury.
Corey Graves.
Injury.
Damian Sandow.
Injury.
But he's kind of still working loosely in TNA.
I believe he left TNA because of injury. That's why they didn't re-sign him.
Dean Ambrose still operating at a high level.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm skipping the folks that haven't really made as much of a name for themselves. Jason Jordan.
We know, very well documented. His career was stolen from him. I think it was an injury that it wasn't like one of those like, oh man, we hope he's okay. It was like, oh, he has neck issues. Oh, he had a surgery. Oh, he had another surgery. Oh, he's not going to wrestle again.
Yeah. Like if he keeps wrestling, he may not live. Jinder Mahal,
which I don't know. I think he's at the tail end of his career. Honestly,
Chris
if I was him, I would go
Cassius Ohno.
Cassius Ohno, another injury that he never disclosed what it was. And you know what? I don't want to sound horrible. As a bigger fellow myself, I think it had something to do weight related or something.
Well, I know the weight came from a thyroid condition. Like he ended up having a thyroid condition that caused him to put on like 60 pounds inside of 6 months.
He was like, first of all, he always looked like Jay from Jay and Silent Bob. But he was athletic, and him and the Kings of Wrestling, him and Claudio were probably my favorite.
They were
non-televised tag team ever. Like when I say non-televised, they never made it to any of the big promotions as a tag team together.
Then you had Roman, Adam Rose,
injured, and I think let go. He's just stopped wrestling.
Well, I think there were also some. I think he's still wrestling on the independents, even though I think he's my age or older. But there was some legal issues there that I don't know how they ended up.
Life stuff. Okay.
Yeah. And then Eric Rowan and Luke Harper. Obviously, we know what happened there. Tyler Breeze.
I think that was more injury.
I
think initially was he got cut, and then he started wrestling.
Well, he got cut, and when he got cut, he realized that his side hustles that he had been doing for quite a while were incredibly lucrative. And he went, I don't think I need to do this anymore.
Well, it was an activity, and he was good.
He still wrestles on the independent, right?
No, he's had some matches. He doesn't.
But he has matches.
He doesn't wrestle a ton. He wrestles when he wants to, which is what you want to be able to do.
Yeah.
I mean, Prince Pretty was amazing. I think he was I know other people have done that character before, but he did it before it was cool. Ironically, it was an offshoot of DJZ, which is one of the Legato one of LWO guys, the one that's not Hispanic, the Filipino cat.
Right.
Like it was a DJZ where he thought he was like a millennial DJ, pretty boy. That was his TNA and Indies character.
And then they had Paige / Soraya,
which I think I'm gonna say something crazy. I think she got cleared for a finite number of dates to work, and AEW was fine with that. I don't think she got a full clearance because what she went through is not something that you just like, oh, I'm better now.
I think she got a doctor that cleared her that maybe shouldn't have.
I mean, she definitely worked limited dates. I could count maybe on two hands how many times she wrestled the entire 3-year run.
Well, I know on her Twitter, she's posted a couple times about like, I don't understand why I'm not doing more.
It's like, do you not? Like,
and then Richie / Ricky Steamboat Jr., same person, just whatever he's gone by over the years. Seth Rollins, Summer Rae.
I honestly think, Summer Rae, that was more of a personal mental health issue, right?
Yeah, personal choice.
But Seth, honestly, if you think about it, Cephalicious, or the bitches, as I like to call him, that quad injury, that when the knee and everything, that when the buckle bomb when his knee, when he had to drop the title, that could have shaved like a decade off of his career. I don't know. That man is
firsthand.
That's a freak of nature.
Yeah, definitely.
And he looks like
he's back better
never
than I
had
did from my knee injury.
I need him to share what cosmetic procedure he does for his abs because they look unreal. They have not changed in the last 14 years.
But yeah, that's that whole group. And I honestly think I'm going to segue us again, even if it takes up the majority and we do less about the shows this week. I think we need to go from this to jumping right into the releases.
Man, that's crazy.
I don't think we can skip over that.
I think, you know what? Number one, I just want to start off by saying that anybody that loses their job, their ability to stop making their livelihood is very tragic.
Yeah.
But being in a competitive era where WWE is at, and I think some of these roster cuts, which I know some fans will say that it sucks, and I'm a fan too. I know I never want people to lose their job, but I understand based what the cuts were, based on what the narrative has been for the last couple weeks. You know, Triple H said that he's always felt that certain call-ups have been lazy. I don't think people ever say anything about it because he's like a Teflon Don as of late, as they say. You know, he keeps beating these allegations. But you know, Triple H is at an age right now that he's so removed from the in-ring aspect that he can only see how it probably in his mind is a lot easier for you to be getting over or for you to improve yourself because you don't have to deal with the old man. The old man, it was a combination of how he felt that day, what kind of look you had, and if anybody liked you.
Yeah.
I think the age and yeah, I think the age of that has gone in WWE. Now it's truly you have to stand out and give value that is different from the other person. Unfortunately, there's a lot of duplicates in WWE up and down the farm system and on the main roster.
Yeah.
That if it comes down to the numbers and cents and whatever, and just what the public opinion, we see that at my job. Unfortunately, my full-time job, if you're new and you're perceived as somebody that's doing less than everybody else, regardless of what the truth is, if that is the narrative behind it, that is a stigma that unfortunately you're going to have to deal with. Yeah. Now, by saying all that, I don't truly know why these individuals got released, but what has been the speculation, not 100% confirmed, because I don't believe any wrestling journalists, unless they cite their sources, and a lot of people do. A lot of person will say, I've reached out to this department, and this department said this, instead of like, oh, I reached out and it was confirmed, instead of saying who did it or who confirmed it. You know what I mean?
That's why I don't consider myself a wrestling journalist, because all of mine comes from either firsthand knowledge that I will not reveal the source,
so
or like secondhand.
You can tell us.
Like 100%. Like I think, like as tragic as it was, Braun Strowman, I think get it. That made sense. That made sense. He had a minor role. Like, honestly, he was phenomenal since his comeback, because what did he do? He did his job.
Exactly.
He got paid very well to put over the next generation of big monsters. That is your Jacob Fatu, your Bronson Reed, and Braun Breaker.
Yep.
He came in, gave them the rub, pause. You know, as Leo Rush says, sometimes you got to give somebody the rub, and did his job. Unfortunately, because this is business, and I understand people always say, but they made X amount of money. But this is the TKO era. TKO has a TKO is the parent company, and they have a lot more investors than, let's say, WWE had on its own.
Yeah.
So they're expected to make more profit. So if you made more money, you know what they're always going to do? How can we make ourselves more streamlined?
And there's way more shareholders than before. The board is larger than it's ever been. And with
I'm not shooting anybody bail, as they say. I'm not making excuses, but this is the pen and paper reason as to what. When somebody's like, hey, why do we have 5 people doing the same thing and none of them are full time?
Which,
guess what happens? That they get cut down. And you know what? Granted, it's a bigger problem on TV and production and everything. Could they include more individuals in the shared TV time? And think you've got to think about it. In about 4 months, SmackDown is going back to 2 hours. Raw is barely 2 hours, 20 minutes tops. So they're not trying to keep. They're trying to make the product as streamlined as best as they can, be concise, and be consistent. Because we said this before, NXT tells the same amount of storytelling every week with less than 2 hours.
Yeah,
and it's tight. Everybody that gets pushed over, and then the goal is to bring you from here to there so you can go up there. And guess what? If you're a bigger name, somebody is going to come into the roster. Guess some people got to come out. There's no house shows. So some of these people got to go. It's some unfortunate circumstances. Like from what the rumor mill is, it was cost and age. Unfortunately,
I think I've heard a lot about the cost factor in that he had a very large contract.
And he's 42.
And coming back from, I mean, he's had a lot of injuries in recent years. And
I'm 100% certain this is not the last time we're going to see Braun Strowman.
No, I definitely think we'll see him again. Hopefully he takes some time. I know he's been dealing with some injury. But the day after his release, he showed his Instagram was him out on jet skis in beautiful blue water. So I'm sure he's in a position that he doesn't have to rush.
Some people that I didn't agree with in this release phase, and number one was Gigi Dolan, Cora Jade, individuals that were on the cusp, but I don't know. Maybe it was just like we don't have plans for them. A lot of people are saying, "Oh, it's a laziness." I don't think it's that. Unless WWE is taking a step backwards, I just think that it's like the whole adage, like go make a name for yourself somewhere else, kid, and come back.
The toughest two for me, Cora and Gigi are definitely up there, but Shayna and Dakota Kai are hands down the two that.
This is where we might get some hate. Shayna, unfortunately, something that she couldn't control is her age.
Right. And
even though her style does not matter the age, I think it's the age comes into factor in terms of marketability. And I think that's becoming a thing because again, this is people that are on TV and it sucks. This is the icky part of the hobby that we love.
Yeah.
Or the passion. It's the icky part. If some people are like, oh, you're not a sex bot or whatever like that, she's phenomenal. I love Shayna. I love her run in NXT. I even love some of her main roster run. But at a certain point, somebody said, okay, she's enhancement talent, which sucks. He should have had a run with the belt, like a serious run.
Mm-hmm.
But I think her association with Ronda messed things up.
And they gave Ronda
her push.
They gave Ronda her push and her mentality and who she had been in NXT. Her entire package went to Ronda when Ronda showed up. And I know they were friends, and I believe they still are friends. But that killed a lot of who Shayna was.
She's gonna burn it up in the indies and wherever she left. She's gonna legitimize whatever roster. I don't know if AEW is the right place for her because AEW is still kind of stuck in the like look at how we look versus how we wrestle, depending on the act that they're pushing. You know what I mean? I know she could put on everybody's roster. She could do what Sasha Slamovich has been doing in the indies the last 4 years herself. Like, you know what I mean? Like she could wrestle men and women and be amazing at it.
But I think,
also,
go ahead.
It was her. I think it might have been also her contract and the fact that they killed her faction. She hasn't been on TV
breaking down.
Yeah, like the only one that's left, and I'm scared for what's her face because she's not partnered with Natty Neidhart either. She's by herself now.
Starks.
Yeah, but Zoe Starks is young enough and talented enough that she could become
something,
overcome this situation.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, I was surprised that when the names were popping out, you know, we would get one or two at a time. I was surprised not to see that show up. I was surprised not to see.
I'm not because
I was surprised not to see Ridge Holland.
Yeah. Oh my God. Memes off of that.
Where he comes in the room, hey,
Yeah, like look who made it through another round of cuts. Like honestly, you know why none of these cuts surprise me? Because the year that they let go of Bray Wyatt, nothing surprises me at all ever since then.
But so here's the biggest thing that jumps out to me about this, and I'm just going to run down the names, and we can talk about. So Shayna, Dakota Kai, Kaden Carter, Katana Chance. We had a tag team there. Cora Jade, Gigi Jolin. They've been tagging together. Jakara Jackson, Shotzi. When we step back and look at that,
they're all tag teams.
All tag teams.
Which I think the women's tag team titles are either going to be scaled back, or they're gonna do a rebranding of it. I think that you need to have a tag team that is big enough name wise that their entire story or their job is to go to every brand and have storylines. Every brand.
Derek, every brand. You got what to say.
My thing is everybody got let go. The majority was from NXT. The majority was women. Or all women.
And I get from NXT. When was the last time you seen NXT get a credible shot at the women's tag team?
But that's the whole thing. They merged their tag team titles with the main rosters, which was, to me, it was dumb.
Okay, so let me ask you this. Let me refresh it. Gigi Dolan and her tag team partner was it Tatum Paxley? Is that who it was?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
In any way, storyline wise, do you see Liv Morgan and Raquel losing to them?
True. If they had been given the chance and called up the way that they had been from NXT, yes.
But nobody gets called up how they were from NXT though.
No, it's like what we're not.
Braun Breaker says otherwise.
What we are not talking about is the fact that every time an NXT tag team gets a title shot on the women's side, it's always a one-off. There isn't a story. There isn't a feud. Like the fact that when Liv Morgan won the belts back, I immediately was like, oh, they're not going to lose their tag match in NXT. Now, if you would have kept it with Becky and Lyra Valkyrie, that is more compelling, in my opinion, for you to drop the belts in NXT to basically start the feud between Becky and Lyra.
Right.
Because then it's like, we got shot. We took them lightly, and it's your fault. Like, I don't lose to NXT people. And then you have boom, Lyra be like, I beat you in NXT. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So what do you mean? And then you get a team that needs the belts to make a name for themselves. And then when they eventually lose it to another tag team on the main roster, they can just stay on the main roster. And then that tag team could go back and forth. And then depending on where the storyline is needed, you can keep them. Bro, since they merged the tag team belts, no NXT tag team has won.
Yeah.
And you can argue what you want, but every single women tag since the merged belts are not a tag team. They're single superstars that don't have a storyline right then and there.
We're going to throw them together.
Like the truly one main roster tag team was Katana Chance and Carter.
Yeah, because they were always a tag. Never had a single anything.
Like you people talking about you're talking about Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark. They were never a tag team. They all started off as singles competitors.
Yeah.
Liv and Raquel, single competitors, but they need to keep them in the forefront because of who they are. You know what I mean?
And now, I mean, to show how much to kind of reinforce my point of how much they don't care about the women's tag team titles, Liv and Raquel won them back the day after Mania, and then Liv said, all right, going to film my movie. I'm going to be gone for a month to 2 months.
Like, even during this time, the NXT tag team could have run roughshod. They could have defended and main evented every NXT with the women's titles, elevated, and then have Liv and Raquel come back when Liv is back and been like, yo, we want our belts back. And then you have a crossover feud. Like the last time that you had a major tag team, like honestly, the reason why I think Belair and what's her face,
Jade or Naomi,
Naomi lost is because they arguably needed to split their storyline.
Well, and to reinforce what you just said right there, that storyline is almost exactly what they did with Fraxium. And now Fraxium is making impact on the main roster.
Yep.
Yeah. And it's like damn. And it's like, unfortunately, like I don't think it was more of an individual association. I think Gigi Dolan 3 years ago, when she was a single star, when back when what's her face was still the NXT women's title holder, forgot her name, the one that was involved with the Otis storyline that she went back and revitalized her
Mandy
career.
Rose?
Mandy Rose. When they were part of a faction and that faction broke up, Gigi Dolan was untouchable, but now she's been a tag team specialist for the better part of the last 2 years. They're like, all right, we don't have women's tag belts. Huh?
I said I forgot she was her lackey when Mandy went back to NXT and had that really big run before getting let go.
And
because
and then arguably Gigi Dolan was her, and I forgot what's her stablemate. They had an amazing tag team breakup, and then one of them got hurt, and then they are basically did nothing. Hold on, I'm trying to figure.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I don't like the cuts.
But it's needed, or else you end up with a bloated roster. I'm not saying it's justified, but it's like you get it. Like an NBA team doesn't just keep adding players.
This is true.
And Nick Khan has already said that they're trying to keep their roster in line with professional sports.
I mean,
that's why there's X amount of people. Like that's why the shows are getting better, because they don't have 8 segments where there are people backstage like farting, like throwing back to the Natalia horrible storyline from like half a decade ago, where it's like you know what I mean. Like,
but he could just sell those seats that him and his son sit in at all the pay-per-views, and that makes some more money too.
I get it, but those
are the best seats.
With this roster cut, they probably saved at least $10 million.
True. So start charging less for these pay-per-views. That's what I heard.
They don't charge anything for the pay-per-view. That's why people mess up.
They do if you go live.
The Peacock deal messed it up, because I think now this is where TKO is like, oh, we're not charging people for these pay-per-views. We need to make our money back in ticket sales. And they're basically using the Taylor Swift success.
Yeah, the tour.
Taylor, so these wrestling show tickets, you got Beyonce and Taylor Swift to thank for them, because the market now shows that if you really want to see something, you'll pay $1,000, $10,000, $20,000, $40,000 until they have a horrible failure in terms of money. They're going to continue doing that. SummerSlam, $38,000. Like, I get it. You're guaranteed second row. Before, that used to be luck of the draw if you make it to Ticketmaster or whatever quick enough. Now it's like, it's like they're taking all the side hustles that people were doing. Like, oh, I know. Like, you know what I mean? They're taking all the work like that you're an avid fan would do. Like, oh, I get the pre-sale and then I get on real early and I search for these particular seats because I know there's going to be front row. Now that they take that out, they're like, oh, okay, cool. People used to get it for regular retail. Now we're going to make it part of a package. There's a YouTube video.
$40,000.
Yeah. There's a YouTube video of a guy that just randomly paid that for him and his, I think, son for WrestleMania. I forgot the guy's name, but
probably said next to him. pretty close.
He was
He was right behind me.
he was 2 seats or 1 seat behind green shirt guy.
So he's right next to
behind me.
right next to Derek.
So right in front of me.
Yeah. So he basically potted about it. You got a VIP entrance. John Cena came out and took pictures and autograph, which you part of it for free. You got the side plates delivered to you at your special like Mania walkway entrance. You got to apparently there was a higher tier for $10,000 more. You got to take a picture inside of the ring. Apparently night 2. You were you didn't get there early for every night, but
they didn't let me in. I was there. Niggas didn't let me in.
So apparently people were in there. Like green shirt guy was in the ring taking a picture. That was part of the commemorative package.
I saw him walk down the ramp. And
they're really giving
that package for SummerSlam is a meet and greet with Kevin Nash, and you get to your photos in the ring, you get your entrance, all of that, and it's $40,000.
Nah, give me
sold out.
Think about it. Think about this. Think about this.
Give me all the click.
They're giving access to something that you had to be in the know or know somebody.
Yeah.
Before 20 years ago, it doesn't matter how much money you had, you didn't have any access. You know what I mean?
Well,
unless you knew people.
Well, unless you knew people.
Yeah.
Like if you had bread like TK wasn't allowed backstage until his dad started booking arenas for WWE. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like you could be a money mark, and I'm not saying TK is, but you could be a guy that has a shit ton of money. Doesn't mean like you're gonna get back. If that was the case, you know what I mean? Like he's not a mark, but he has a lot of money. Is West Side Gun? West Side Gun would have been backstage. West Side Gun just had really good seats, and he pays out of pocket for that. You know what I mean? Not WWE. Crazy. WWE is giving you the access that Joe Schmo, if you hit the lottery tomorrow and your biggest dream is to go to WrestleMania, you could. There's probably going to be within the next year. There's going to be a package where you get to hang out and shadow the broadcast team. Like you know what I mean? Like you get to sit like $100,000 to sit next to Triple H at Gorilla for Mania. And you know what? There's people that are going to do it. Like you said, the market is allowing it. Now, if WWE got a backlash where nobody, just like the Taylor Swift tickets, like $10,000 for Taylor Swift. Guess what tickets are the hardest tickets to find? Taylor Swift. Like, I don't know. I don't live in a budget that allows me to that. Like literally, if I took together my entire salary, that's like a good 40% for one day. That if I got punched in the face, I probably remember being punched in the face more than I did my experience in WrestleMania. You know what I mean?
Well, that's because you forget meeting people and
Well, that's a different story.
Like, that's neither here nor there.
You know what I mean? Like man, like granted, if I had the bread and I can meet Triple H, I would. That's my guy. That's the one guy that as time passes, I'm probably never going to meet that guy. He doesn't do meet and greets. He used to do them for charity. Now he doesn't. He doesn't do anything.
He's too busy. You just
like not even that. Like I'm sure even somebody like Travis Scott that's on the show, the only reason he probably met Triple H is because The Rock was like, hey, H.
I have heard that he still goes and talks to everybody. Like he goes and in the old man Vince style where he goes and he shakes every hand and, you know, looks everybody in the eye. Like that hasn't left. That's still,
but you got to work
culture.
Like, you know what I mean? Like you got to be there. Like, you know what I mean? Like I'm 43. Like, even if I became a millionaire tomorrow, like, I don't think there's no way, unless I would have to pay my way to have somebody risk their job to introduce me to him. Like you're friends with a couple wrestlers. I'm friends with a couple wrestlers. I would have to make it worth their while for them to pull the favor to put me in a situation that I can meet him. And it won't be a direct meeting. I'd be like, yo, he walks down this hallway before every show. I can get you access to be standing there. And it's not like he's going to be like, hey, what's up, Marco? So like, you know what I mean? I can't ask him for a picture. He's going to be like, yo, you're in the hallway. You saw him. Like, you know what I mean?
You can ask in a hallway. Everybody does.
Right.
You were at Rumble when the people were running people down.
Hey, all you gotta do is look, have that camera ready, okay? And you better move when he move.
Just like
No,
that.
Bro, we had probably was one of the best access that we had at WrestleMania. We're not going to say where, but we all know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
And I felt like I was the furthest away from Triple H ever. I don't even think
because I was trying to position myself so that I was not in their way at all.
No, but I honestly don't even think he was in the building.
Nah,
dog.
He wasn't back there.
We were lucky. We were lucky enough to run into, Dwayne. And even that, that is 1,000,000 to 1 chance. And you can tell by everybody that works there was like, oh, he's here?
He's here. He's here. He's here. He's here.
You know what I mean?
7 hours late, but
Yeah, 6.5 hours late.
But it's like, think about it. Like, yo, that's crazy. Like, you know,
one man was like, about time this man is here.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. Like The Rock, that's my person. So,
yeah, like, you know what I mean? Like him, like I didn't met him. I breathed the same air as him.
That's what I was like. I got to breathe. I got to breathe his air.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, a friend of ours.
I met him twice.
Okay, we get it. We got you. You're cooler than us. We get it.
No, it was at CVS. It was cool as hell.
No, my thing is, my dream to meeting him is not even in a wrestling scenario.
Well, that's the situation I was in.
Because I hear that he's very gracious if you're waiting for him outside of a movie set. I just want to be able, I never know what he's filming, or if he's filming, I'm nowhere. Like, nobody's filming in Baltimore, Maryland. Like, you know what I mean? Like, come on.
No one ever.
I mean, there's a lot of independent rappers that are filming in Baltimore, Maryland.
Well, I don't think Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is gonna randomly just pull up.
What if somebody said, "Oh God, that'd be funny."
You know what I mean? Or like. I don't work in the industry in Hollywood. Like, I want to be a key grip that just goes to have coffee and then DJ's there in full makeup or whatever. And it's like, hey, what's up, man? My name is Dwayne. Like, because apparently that's what he does. That man beats every allegation of being a dickhead. He's a really nice guy. Like, every time I'm like, oh, my friend met him. And I'm sitting there like bated breath, like, uh-oh, here's when everything comes crashing down. He was the nicest guy ever, man. Like, he gave all the staff member like $500 just off of, like, hey man, thanks for keeping coffee here. Like, something crazy like that. It's never like he smacked the shit out of somebody. Said, get the hell out of my way. I don't give a shit about you or your kid. Like,
said The Rock said.
like, you know what I mean? Like,
the time that I actually met him and talked to him, it was a 30-second to a minute long interaction, but he used to live here. And he worked out at Gold's, the same Gold's that I worked out at, that Corey worked at. And I went over one day, and it's like 9 o'clock at night, and they're only open until 10. And I go in, and I'm not a small dude. I'm 6'4", and at the time I was in pretty decent shape. This is 10, 15 years ago. And I'm in the free weight area. I was the only person back there. And then somebody comes in, has a hoodie on. It's a cutoff hoodie. They start lifting, and I hear the weights just banging. I'm like, that dude is fucking moving weight. Like, he is moving weight. Damn. And so then I'm trying to be like, who is this dude? But gym culture, you don't just turn around and stare at somebody. So I'm trying to catch a glimpse in the mirror. And I swear to God, the first glimpse that I get in the mirror, it was right after that he had expanded his arm tattoo. And the first glimpse that I catch is that 2-2. And I'm like, there's no way. Like, there's no way. And I don't fanboy out a lot. Like, it's weird because where I live, there are a lot of celebrities that live here. Like, NFL player, like Howie Long, Hall of Famer, Chris Long, his son. Like, we have a lot of famous people that are here.
But, like, that's the chance. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I saw that and I was like, don't fanboy. Make sure it's him. Just
like, The Rock won't ever do a meet and greet. When's the last time The Rock ever done a meet and greet?
It's been forever.
It's been since he was an active member of the roster.
Well, and he had headphones like these on with his hoodie on. So I was like, I'm 99% sure that man is The Rock.
You know what I mean? Like
don't stare, don't bother him, don't piss him off.
Cena's gonna be a guy at that point too.
Yeah,
I think Cena's gone. I think Cena's gone. I haven't met him either, but I think after this run, he's gonna do the occasional for I think whatever spirit line that he has. Like he follows me on Twitter, and it was all because he followed.
He used to do his Twitter follow days. He'd say, anybody that follows me, I'll follow you.
No, this was like when he came out with I don't even know if it's vodka or liquor, whatever it is that he did the last 3 years that he's not over pushing. It's his actual thing. He's not a sponsor. Yeah. And I think he put out something and it was like, oh, the first 100 people that follow this account, and he did it. And he occasionally likes something or his team or whatever, but it's crazy. Like I tell people that, yo, John Cena follows me. And they're like, no, he don't. And they're like, holy shit, he does. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Maybe I'll be the cool guy that'll at The Rock at some point, and then The Rock will interact with me, and that'll make my entire life. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
but yeah, so he's working out. He finishes, and we end up in the same area, quite on accident, not on purpose at all. And he looks over and he goes, "Hey, what's up, man?" I was like, "Big fan. Don't want to bother you while you were lifting." He was like, "Nah. I saw you taking glances. It's cool." And I was like, "Dude, you were moving weight. How could I not look over?" And he's like, "Nah, it's awesome. It's cool." And he's like, "Do you want to get a picture or something?" And at the time, my phone was one of the first ever smartphones. It didn't even have like smart touch on it. You had to like push. And I went up front because Corey, who's been on the pod, worked up front. I was like, yo, you got a camera? And he's like, "No, I don't have anything." And he's like, "Is he cool?" And Corey had met him once or twice before because he came into Golds and Corey worked at Golds. I'm like, yeah, but I got to get a camera. And then he was like, "Hey, did you want to get that picture?" And I'm like, "I'll catch you next time. I don't want to, it's 10 o'clock at night. I don't want to keep you." And he was like, "Absolutely. We'll do a picture the next time." And I saw him 2 more times in there. And both times I saw him, I never even got the chance to take a picture. I'm like, this sucks. The other time I saw him, he was buying medicine for his daughter at CVS. So I definitely wasn't going to bother him for a picture then, even though I had an iPhone at that point.
Yeah. It's one of those things like I would be like, man, that's awesome. But like I apparently he's known for like giving away stuff after he's done wrapping up a movie. Like everything. Like, oh, this is my workout belt. These are my shoes. Like sign it, like already pre-signed, like here you go. And like if you looked at his social media, I haven't seen I had so much social media that I don't really like. Before I used to look at his stuff all the time, but he'll be like, yeah, he'll be at a light and he'll be like doing his live videos. I'm gonna be like, oh my god, it's a rock. And he's like, yeah. And then he'll intentionally pull over and be like, come on, get your hug. And it'll be guys and girls, and it's like he'll be in the middle of his live and start talking to people, and because people be like crying. And you know what? I froze in the 6 feet that he was away from me. One of our friends said, "Hey, Rock." And then Rock looked at me. I was like, "What's up?" And he's like, and I was like, "No, nothing."
I nudged you at that point, and I was like, "Hey, man, what's going on?" And you were like,
like he looked at me, and I was like in Black Panther, he froze.
I just did the, "What's up? What's going on?" And then he just did the, "Hey, what's up?" Walk right on by. Yeah, another time, Corey called and he was like, yo, he's here right now. He's getting ready to leave. You got to get over here. And I lived 2 minutes from Gold. So I grabbed my oldest son, wrestling fan. I'm like, "Get in the car. We got to go right now. We got to go right now." I think he was still in a car seat. Like, I'm buckling him up to like, move. I'm like, I'm going to get my son in a picture with The Rock. This is going to be dope. And I swear we get there and he's beside his truck taking pictures. And there's like 5 or 6 groups of people around him. And as we pull up, we hop out of the car and I'm like, come here. And my kid looks up and goes, "Is that The Rock?" And I swear he goes, "All right, everybody, I got to go," and gets in his truck. And I'm like,
And I'm not even a fanboy. I just want to be there when he's like, "Oh, this Ford F-150, top of the line with every bell and whistle that I get for free from Ford, from like because he gives them away." I'll be like, "Thank you."
Yeah, I have a friend that worked on, I think one of the Fast and Furiouses as a stand-in, and he didn't get to work directly with Rock at all. Like, he saw him in passing, but he said that The Rock was amazing. Like, Dwayne was just a great guy.
Yeah, nobody, and like every walk of life, I've been waiting for people to be like, your boy Rock. Let me tell you something about him. Like, yeah, the wrestling allegations I could believe about him wanting to be the center of every storyline. I get that because he's the fucking Rock. Like, you know what I mean? But I don't know. But anyway, we obviously did not talk about anything related to SmackDown. We started off talking.
Look, I'm gonna do a SmackDown tie-in right here. And honestly, I think everybody go watch the shows. SmackDown was decent. SmackDown tie-in right here. Miz faced Aleister Black. Aleister Black, Black Mass, game over. Miz knocked out. But we're doing a little sport crossover here too. NBA, ever since the poll got released that said Tyrese Halliburton is the most overrated player in the NBA, he has been stealing hearts of every hater on the planet as he is just carrying the Indiana Pacers right now. And he helped them steal game 1. And last night, they stole the shit out of game 2, both of them in Cleveland against the best team in basketball. He hits a free throw to get within 2, misses the second free throw, not on purpose, gets his own rebound, drives out, does a step back, buries the 3 to go up by 1 with 1 second left. And which Jalen did the exact same thing to the Celtics. So I know you know. But that has caused the Miz, that Cleveland boy loves everything Cleveland, to say, "Oh, Tyrese Halliburton, you love the WWE. You say you want to be a wrestler. Well, you beat my Cavaliers, and I'll bring you in the ring and whoop your ass."
Hilarious. Can we talk about how Aleister Black has been storytelling this one story with him and Seth Rollins for like the past 5 years with this doggone eye?
Oh yeah, it's not nearly as bad.
Back when Seth was taking everybody's eyes.
Yeah,
he's not doing the makeup anymore, but he still has the contact lens.
Yeah, storytelling, baby,
long term.
And then we'll just highlight real quick.
I don't see Seth Felicia's interacting with him for at least a year and a half,
because we'll highlight the big Raw part as well. Paul talks to Jay. They end up. Jay says, "Nah, get out of here, dog," and that results in Seth and Jay in a match for the championship. And
I'm not gonna lie, I held my breath. I was like, "Oh, he's gonna drop it."
Rollins had it. It looked like it was done.
I was like, "God damn!"
And that cult of personality hit. CM Punk came in, saved the day, saved Jey Uso. But then, go ahead.
They booked him strong because it looked like Jay was gonna win until the interference by Braun Breaker.
Yep.
Yeah.
So now, if it would have been like that, Jay got saved, I would have been like, he got saved from the shenanigans,
from getting.
I had to dip out right as the match ended. I don't know, was this non-televised where Logan Paul hit him in the face? It was televised
when Logan came out. Oh no, you're talking about that wasn't televised.
So after the match, and I think this was WWE.com exclusive.
That's what
Logan Paul ran through the crowd. Jay's like slapping everybody's hands after Seth and Braun and Paul are gone. His music, he's yeeting all over the front row. And then he gets to the end of the front row and gets popped right in the face by Logan Paul. And Logan Paul cuts a video when he's in the back and says, "This is the third time I've knocked your ass out. You got a glass jaw. I'm coming for that belt."
You know what? Logan Paul is the best example of somebody that you could add to Jay's notch on his belt, and everybody comes out better because Logan Paul has to beat the allegation of being a part-timer, and he's not. Apparently, according to people that we know, he's always at every show.
He's at every show right now.
And, you know, I like it. I like it. I think Logan probably has to win the IC belt before he wins the world title. I think that
he's not
would
taking it off Dom. That's for sure.
Give him the world title.
I don't think it's going to be for quite a while if it happens.
Yeah, I think it's when he's a crafty veteran.
I think we're 2 years out from that at earliest.
2 years. Yeah. That's real soon. But so I saw.
I think Dom gets the world heavyweight title before him.
No, I agree that. I agree to that. But I saw that it said a fan hit Jey Uso and like laid him out. So I didn't know it was Logan Paul.
So he came in.
Have you seen Jey Uso's hands? You have.
I have. We've shaken his hands.
The math is not mapping if it's a fan. Jey Uso got bowling balls.
But we got to go ahead and tell that story real quick. The night that Derek met Jey Uso, he had on his Yeet sweatshirt. He didn't know he was going to meet him. He didn't plan for it. And that shirt was brand new, had just come out. And Jay's like,
I had the sticker on it.
Still had the sticker.
You know I keep my stickers.
And Jay said, "Oh man, I love your shirt." And our boy Mega Ran said, "Oh yeah, you got that at a thrift store." I have never seen one man look so sad in my life. He's like, no. And Ran said, "No, I just messing with you." He's like, "Oh, thank God." He said, "I thought it was done before I got started."
That was funny.
But then I'm going to shout out real quick NXT. NXT was probably the show of the week. We got a return of Elijah/Elias into the WWE through the TNA partnership because he signed with TNA. He's part of the tag team or the title tournament. And then we got a hell of a match between Jordan Grace and Julia for the number one contendership. And on top of that, we got Joe Hendry there again. And Joe Hendry is putting in the work. And we're going to have Joe Hendry and Trick Williams at the next NXT PLE for the TNA title. So definitely, if you haven't seen the shows yet, and there's one that you need to go watch, NXT last night, put in work.
Good stuff. Still got to watch that one. Got to go pick my friend up and line up.
I think.
Oh my God! I saw you.
I think WWE would change the game if they allow the individuals to, while they're in TNA, WWE, or now AAA umbrella, for them to use their WWE copyrighted names.
Yeah,
like if Elijah can be called Elias for like the foreseeable future. And even while he's in the fold, to use it at indie dates, that would help the WWE and help the independent contractor make some more bread. Because now they can book it as Elijah, WWE TNA star, is coming to wherever, Idaho, wherever place that they're going to be at, instead of formerly known as such and such. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That could work. I mean, just license it. Like, be like, hey, you can have it, but we got 10, 15%. They do that with movie stars that leave WWE.
Yeah,
The Rock and John Cena. It's like, it's a very easily enforceable deal. Like 10%, and it's win-win for everybody.
I mean, Cena's name is John Cena, right?
Yeah, but the WWE, for anything entertainment, they got to cut.
Yeah.
And
I just like to see...
Like the only person that beat the allegations was The Rock. The Rock got all his royalties back to him. Now he could be Dwayne The Rock Johnson, not Dwayne Johnson, aka Rock in parentheses.
Well, there's getting ready to be another in Adam Edge Copeland.
Nope, that was proven false.
Oh, was it really? I hadn't heard.
WWE renewed that immediately. A lot of these websites retracted it.
Okay. I hadn't realized that the
Just
one
like
that
I
I had
think,
seen showed the patent office expiration. So
yeah.
I wonder if it expired and then they popped back in and said, "Oh shit."
No, the thing is, I said WWE's trademark won't let any star own their name. So basically, is WWE has paperwork. It's just it always happens. Like the database doesn't always update. You know what I mean? And you got to think about it when you trademark something like that. It's a couple different places that you got to file that paperwork.
Well, and that's one thing that was interesting because towards the holidays, November, December of just last year of 2024, WWE had re-trademarked Edge, and it sparked a ton of speculation that he was going to be coming back to WWE. So when it came out this year that it had expired, I was all confused because I was like, wasn't it just a couple months ago that they said that
also WWE doesn't do it to be a dick. They do it from when they show footage. They don't have to go back and re-graphic Adam Copeland.
Yeah, and they don't have to blur out, the ring buckle.
Like maybe they used to do it for t-shirts. Now WWE doesn't give a shit. They get paid on bulk from fanatics. I don't think it's an individual thing. It's like when they're at their shows, yeah, those matter. But I think on fanatics, WWE gets a percentage of everything based on whatever deal that they sign with fanatics.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And people are spiffed based on the total numbers. I don't think it's how it was before. Like WWE does not care if you make $300 a week.
Oh, I'll do one more NXT
t-shirts
shout out
from your own website.
I'll do one more NXT shout out before I forget about it. Young OG Javon Evans hit a crazy move where he bounced off the bottom rope to ricochet rebound back into the ring to hit a suplex. It was one of the best, most creative moves I've seen in a long time.
Now we got to go back and watch it.
Yeah, definitely worth. I mean, even if you just go find the clip, it's like a 10-second clip out there. Dude is crushing it. Like, a shout out again to DPW down in North Carolina and the Deadlock Pro Wrestling crew, because that's where he originated. That's where I saw him first.
That's what's up. Shout out to them.
And I think last thing we got to do before we go, shout out Josh Segura.
Just randomly,
just, like
I had a last night I was feeling down, and then hashtag Josh Segura. Now I feel great.
You feel good again.
Shout out Josh Segura. just because. Shout out Josh Segura. That should be our thumbnail. Just a picture of him smiling, like
a very special episode. Hashtag at Josh Segura.
Look, I will go find it.
I'm telling you, like, bro, his Wikipedia. This man got taught the art of taking a picture. I look like I'm insane every time, but look at his picture. All his pictures are like him, his pat and his smile.
Well, and that was, we talked about it earlier. We talked about him in Abbott Elementary. They actually comment on, man, he's got such a good smile.
Yeah, it's like, yep. But shout him out. Shout out Josh Segura. He was an avid wrestling fan, and we found out by stalking his Wikipedia that he wanted to be a wrestler.
He was going to be a
pro wrestler. Sometimes you don't get to follow your dreams, and now he's just a Hollywood actor.
Yeah, in one thing after the other, and everything that pertains to what we enjoy.
Yeah, it's like, okay. It's like, imagine his next interview, like, I really wanted to be a wrestler, but I need a backup plan, and Hollywood actor is, it pays the bills, guys. It's not
I was training, and they said I had a great smile, so I figured, why not?
It's like, what? All right, and this has been today's episode of Bumps and Bruises, in which we didn't talk about anything except talking about wrestlers from 20 years ago. But there's a pay-per-view around the corner. I believe, is it this weekend? Yes, it is this weekend.
Saturday. Yeah,
Backlash is going to be main evented by John Cena. We're going to have an amazing four-way match with Jacob Yaramin Fatu. versus Damian Priest, Drew McIntyre, and LA Knight, which I think is going to be a banger. Are the tag belts on the line or no?
I don't believe they are yet. Oh,
Okay,
we still got SmackDown.
We do have a title defense from Dom versus Penta, which is gonna kill. And I assume we're getting a Penta loss, or this might be setting up the AAA main event, which could very well happen.
Vikingo.
Yeah. So I think we have a good weekend of wrestling. We still, of course, have SmackDown this week. And the pay-per-view is going to be this weekend. And I expect the go-home show to either fill out the card or announce. Also, we have Elia Valkyrie versus
Becky Lynch.
Becky Lynch for the IC Women's title.
I
assume we might get a rematch for Chelsea Green for her title.
Chelsea Green, that's another part of SmackDown that's worth going to watch, because what she is doing mourning the loss of her title is just continuing to elevate that title. She's like,
it's hilarious.
Yeah.
And then we've got Gunther, Pat McAfee.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Which I think is going to steal the show. Of course, Pat McAfee is going to put on a great show. I don't think he's ever won a match.
You think this is time?
Did he beat Theory?
I thought he did. Right?
He beat Austin Theory at WrestleMania.
Okay.
At 38.
And then got.
But
stunned.
I know the Survivor Series, not the Survivor Series, the War Games he lost because in the Disputed Era, like got their comeuppance.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, hopefully.
Did Vince restart the Austin Theory match? I don't remember.
Yes. And then Vince pinned him, I think.
Yeah.
Because Vince punched him and then kicked him in the balls and then pinned him or something like that.
Oh, and then that's when Stone Cold came out and they had the beer and then Stone Cold stunned them, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So
I remember I was supposed to be there.
I anticipate that Backlash, we might get the non-anticipated, the non-promoted return of either Cody or The Rock. I think Rock is more likely.
I read that Cody had neck surgery.
No,
Cody Rhodes.
I don't know. I think he's home. He was at Universal Studios like 3 days after Mania.
When they say he left, he was all upset. Yeah, he lost.
My man was still with his daughter, like, and then the picture came up. It's like him and a fan, like happy as he can be, not like like sure take the picture.
No, that would be hilarious if that face is what he made.
Yeah, like, that would be keeping kayfabe, brother.
Yeah, no doubt.
Keep it going.
But yeah, we're gonna have a good card. I don't think we have a women's title match. I think that's in stasis.
Yeah, because they haven't did that.
I think we might get a tag match. Yeah, I think we might have a tag match for the Raw women's title. I think it's shaping up to be Io Sky and Rhea versus Julia and what's her name, Roxanne Perez.
This says nope. That's from a while ago. Ignore me.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think we're gonna. Hopefully, I don't know. I don't want anybody to appear after the main event because I think it's way too soon for Cody to come back. Let him come back at like Saturday night's main event, something like that, or what is it? Money in the Bank.
Now, what do we think?
If The Rock comes back, that means he's trying to beat the allegations of not wanting to be at Mania,
right?
and then he might turn whatever storyline that we have into something else that we probably don't want.
I'm curious, real quick before we end, what do you guys think? There's a lot of speculation on what the ending of this Orton Cena title match is going to be.
Oh, Orton is not winning at all. I don't.
Well, if you guys remember, but it's less about who wins and how it happens.
Oh,
So the argument is being made that Cena wants to kill wrestling, and with him wanting to kill wrestling, the one of the best ways that he could do that is to steal the Randy Orton playbook. And if he starts to get behind, just like Orton did when he was challenging Cena, and Orton was the world champ at the time, he turned and smacked the shit out of the ref and got himself DQ'd.
Really?
yeah,
Huh.
Does
I knew
Cena
that's where you
follow
were
that
going.
same formula and
I wanna
smack the
see it.
shit out of the ref to get DQ'd?
I want to see.
I mean, part of me wants to see, but I also want them to cap their feud. You know
But
what I
you
mean?
think this is the time to cap it right now?
I
I think they can stretch
think
it. I think they can stretch it and give it another one.
you don't want Saturday night's main event, so you're gonna punt a PLE main event for a free TV main event.
No, SummerSlam.
But then that keeps John Cena in a holding pattern. He can't move on to a fresh opponent.
This is true.
At the same time, I mean, this feud is what? We're 3 weeks from Mania. We're 3 weeks from Mania.
How many dates is he at? Is he in the mid-20s yet, or he's still in the 30s?
I think he's still low. Like, I think we still have several more that he's showing up.
Because I know he was like at 38 or something like that left after Mania.
Here, let's see if we can find that real quick.
You said he only had what left after Mania?
I think 37 to 38 dates. That's what he said storyline, which is kind of legit. And those do not account for matches. It's just anytime he's there, whether he's wrestling.
Anytime he shows up. Yep.
Yeah.
So this AI overview of a Google search says 30 to 32 more appearances.
Okay. We got roughly 6 months plus. And you figure it'll be chunks of 4 or 5. So he has like maybe 5-6 feuds left.
Yeah, and I mean,
and I really hope that he doesn't get involved in a tag match unless it's like the rumor is Bad Bunny. But I don't want to see him and Travis versus like somebody stupid,
Yeah.
like whoever the celebrity is going to be on Travis's side.
Yeah.
But
I think they could, if there's anybody that they were going to stretch that, do a long feud.
Or Rock Cena, Cody Orton. I would watch that. That would be a tag match that I'll be like, all right.
Yeah, I could get behind that.
But
yeah, if there's anybody that they're going to do a longer feud. Go ahead, Derek. My bad.
No, I was just saying a little legacy reunion if they did that route.
Right.
Yeah, they could get Ted DiBiase out on bail.
I don't think he can.
He's not in jail. I don't think so.
I was like, damn.
I know his dad beat the allegation. His dad still pops up on TV when they need an old guy.
I thought he was in jail.
Well,
I think his over mentioning of it, I just think he was involved, but he was one of many, many names. And they just made an example out of everybody. If your name was famous.
Oh no, I think he was involved like Brett Favre level.
But Brett Favre went away for him.
No, it's still going on. He's got a trial date.
Really?
Yeah.
But he had like where the money is coming from.
Yeah, they stole money from the Mississippi welfare.
He got paid for an appearance. I don't think he directly did it. He just found out where the money was coming from and wanted to charge them.
Oh, but DiBiase straight up stole money from.
Yeah, I know that. And
DiBiase Jr., much more so than Senior, is what it points to.
Yeah, it's like, but yeah, the Brett Favre thing. I think it was that he asked for an appearance fee, and then it was kind of like, how much can you pay me? And he kind of like found out how the chicken nuggets was made, and he was like, I don't care, that shit still tastes good. It was like, oof.
Yeah, he's got a trial date for July for Ted DiBiase Jr. And
so he's not in jail then.
20 years in prison.
He's not in jail then.
Not yet.
Hey man, Do that match real quick. He's gonna need it for his lawyer's fee.
Damn.
Let me get this quick payout.
He gonna need it on his books. So you got ramen. Dang.
Just be like,
give me that commissary money.
Oh, you think they'll do a throwaway line like, "Hey, I spoke to DiBiase Jr. He's rooting for us," or that'll go nuclear. I think Vince would have done it. Vince would have brought him back and gave him a full run,
right?
But
that's funny.
But anyway, this is the end of the episode, guys. I hope everybody have fun. Go watch Backlash. It's gonna be good. Once again, this is Marcos, aka at the Sunset Kid. To my upper right, that's Derek, Lock Stallion. To my upper left, that's Shane, aka Drizzen 13. If you haven't, please give us a like or a follow at Bumps and Bruises and everywhere you can get social media. If you wanted to Twitters, if you wanted to TikToks, if you wanted to YouTube, whatever, we're everywhere. Hell, we might be on LegalZoom. We don't know. Go give us a follow. All right. Thanks, everybody. We appreciate you. This is where we pause for a real long time to make sure that it stops recording.